I got a little bit more time on my hands today, and so I thought, well, let's give them a different perspective of this. This is the other side of the fence that you don't really see much. And you see how, let's see how this side of the fence line looks. Whoa, there. I'll go real slow so it doesn't go crazy. And so they'll have this whole fence line cleaned out, both sides basically, when they just keep working and working and working it from the other side. I'll start, the more they get it on the other side cleaned out, then I'll start throwing the scratch kind of in the middle of the fence line, and they'll start poking their heads through the fence, and they'll get all the stuff underneath those leaves. Those leaves will have some crickets and things like that, a few little worm type things. Because, well, today it's a good, beautiful day. It rained this morning, but the sun is out now, and we've got them working that fence line. The sun is out now, and it's supposed to get really nice and warm today. And then after that, it's going to get cold. It's going to get down in the teens. So they're not really going to want to be outside in the house, or outside of the house too much when it gets that cold. And as you can see, now this right here is where I had my garden years and years ago. And it was a pretty good garden back then. But it didn't rain like it does now, I don't think, because it didn't just get washed away like it does now. You can see right now that there's, let's see, well, towards it, see the water that's just standing in it. Now, if I was to come out here and put it on top of this fence and tilled it, you couldn't get in there. I mean, it would just be a soggy, muddy mess. And I don't know if you can tell, but all of the water that's from this whole area, this is the bottom for the whole area. It all kind of flows here. So I don't know if you can tell, but there's places where the water has washed all of the topsoil and bedding and everything that it could get that was small particles, and it's washed it down here into this basin, and it goes down here, and I come up, it goes down here, and then it goes right into where the pond is, and we've got a big trash pile down there that we burn occasionally when it gets winter, and we don't think that there's any chance for fire, because we have a great big, I wanted to show you the back of my property. I rarely come back here, but I really love it back here, and I have plans to clean it up. I just haven't got to it. It gets real wild, and it's snaky, but I've got some deer who live back here, and I kind of really like them, so I really don't want to disturb them either. But this right here is just nothing but a mess, and it's hard for me to mow back here any further back in, so I'm going to have to wait until the weather gets cold and then breaks, and then I can come back here and I can clean all of this out. Now, I'm a 68-year-old woman, well, 68 and a half. So, you know, my days and my work time in the day is limited. I just don't have what it takes to work all day long on something anymore. I can work a little while, have to sit down a while, and work a little while. I don't know if you can tell it, but this right here is like a house for something. I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. But you can see it's just like a little house. You can see the opening. It looks like it's on the left-hand side. And all of this is honeysuckle, and it doesn't really go away, and it just gets worse, and it'll just choke out everything. And I've got a nice little mulberry tree that it's starting to kill, and I need to come down here and really clean this place up and get some wood out of it, because I've got some dead stuff down here that I could burn in my fireplace. But I've got an insert. But I've got a huge tree back here that's a big oak tree, and it had carpenter ants in it. I mean, this was the biggest oak tree I think I've ever seen anywhere. And the carpenter ants got the middle of it, and then the storm came and took the top of it out. I think the last time I was down here, it still had a, let's see if I can get through this. It still had, well, I don't see much of it. Yeah, it's still there. The bottom of it still looks like it's alive, but the top of it is laying down. I don't know, it looks like somebody came in and cut some of it without even asking. Wonder how that happened. I didn't live here for a few years though, and I rented my house out. Might have been when it happened, but I have not even been down here. I haven't been able to. I had a total knee surgery. After the total knee surgery went bad, and I was off work for 6 months with it, in the hospital for quite a while, I had to have 2 hip replacements because both my hips wore out. So I've been kind of incapacitated for a while and haven't been able to do anything. This is the back side of that. So something's living in there and taking refuge in that. And then as you can see, this right here is a mulberry tree. And I would really like to take this branch off right here and let the rest of it absorb the nutrients. See, this is like a little, this is not a brook. This is just where the water looks like. We had a landscaper that lived next door to us when we first moved in here, and he threw a bunch of concrete and stuff in this little area right here. So I don't know, it looks like somebody even moved it out in places, and I don't know, I think it's kind of cool to have, like, we had a little waterfall. I don't know what happened to it. It's just gone. It's like somebody came and moved all the concrete around, and it's not even doing anything anymore. So anyway, we've got a neighbor behind us that has big field, big pasture out here. And see, I would love to just fence this off and have a place where my animals can come, and maybe even get me a little goat, or I really don't want a goat because goats would probably hurt me. But boy, would I absolutely love to have some lambs down here. I'm just almost afraid to because of the animals, the wild animals that come up from the river. We have a river about 3/4 of a mile away from us, Verdigris River, and so it. Boy, I tell you what, this has opened up quite a bit. Somebody's been down here cutting wood, looks like. I don't know what happened to it because it's all of a sudden there's a lot of trees missing. Huh. I don't think they would fall and die and just vanish. But boy, they're gone. There's a lot of trees in here. So this right here was, where's my fence line? I don't have a fence, but if I had a fence, my fence line would be right, I think about here-ish. Let's see. Yeah, right about, I don't know, somewhere in here. This is probably the fence line where these trees are. That makes sense. Probably right about there. You can see how it goes up there from the house. But then you can see all these vines. I have cleaned these vines out and cleaned these vines out and cleaned these vines out. And they come back. I'm not sure what kind of vines they are, but they sure are profuse. They don't ever stop. Boy, I'd love to have this back again. I used to have this. It looked like a park, and I had a swing set that I had at the preschool. I brought it here. You can see it. Pieces of it's right here. We had a pretty good sized storm, and that tree fell down right here. You can see it right there. And it fell down and it took the swing set out. Of course it would. Why wouldn't it? You know, I mean, my oldest son, he used to love to come down here and play. And he had built forts and I don't know, all kinds of things. He turned into a an explorer, Boy Scouts, explorers. And we had the best campfires down here, and we had weekend sleepovers, and brought our tents down here and had marshmallows, and oh, it was just so much fun. I miss those days. I really, really do. Now look at this tree. Now, this looks like a tree from the next door neighbor's house. Oh, that was a big pecan tree right there. Wow. Yeah, you see pecans on the ground right here. Looky here. There's a pecan. Huh, I know I've got a lot of pecan trees down here. I just haven't been able to pick any up. Yeah, you can see them up in the tree even now. Look, can you tell? Let's see, it's this one right here. You can see some pecans here and there. Little dots in the trees. Okay, pinch it back down. Look at how big this tree is. So I'm 5'6", and whenever I buy jeans with inseam, I'm 33-inch inseam, and I'm standing here by this tree, and hopefully there's no snakes in here anymore. I'm standing here by this tree, and it's up to my waist. I don't even know if this thing would be any good to sell for sawmill or not, but I don't even know if anybody can get down here. Yeah, part of that's on my property. Yeah. So I think that the deer are living down in here somewhere. I'm not really sure where. I just know that I see them all the time down here. Let's see if I can get through here without making you guys sick. Look how big that tree is. I need to either find some with a chainsaw or get me one of my own. But I have to do it when it's cold, because I can't do this snaky thing. I mean, this stuff is just thick. Look at that. It's just thick. That tree comes all the way over to here. Dang, I wouldn't have to buy wood if I would be able to just cut some of this stuff up. I know it looks like it's rotten and old and dead, but boy, that would be a great fire starter. And you can see how the let's see over here. You can see how the honeysuckle is all over that, and that's a mess in the summertime. Oh, that's a mess. I really don't. I used to love honeysuckle, and I would love honeysuckle if you could keep it contained. But when the birds eat it, because they just love it, and then they poop out the seeds, they go everywhere. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. We got, that hurt. We've got, right here you can see, if you can see it or not, but that's blackberries. Blackberries have nice little thorns. Nice little thorns aren't nice to your legs or your fingers when you don't know that they're there. So, keep moving along. Oh, I love my property. Look how big this tree is. So, I don't have anything to put this camera on so that I could show you the magnificence of the base of this tree that's still left and still living. I know it's an oak tree. It looks like it's a pin oak, if that's the leaves. These are pin oak leaves right here. I don't think pin oaks get that big. I've got all kinds of trees out here. I've got all kinds of vines. Some of them are poison ivy and poison oak and sumac and all of the things that they'll eat you. Well, they won't eat you, but they sure will make you itch like crazy. Look how big this tree is. I'm trying to walk over here and show you this thing. So, yeah, it's got some, it still has some disease, it looks like, but somehow it's still living. Look at that. Look at that tree. It's like, my goodness, it would swallow me whole. It would just swallow me whole. This is the, see if I can get in. I'll go around the other way. Maybe I can get to it. It's got a whole lot of little trees and stuff coming up around it that makes it hard to get to it. It'll poke your eyeballs out if you don't watch it. So here is just one little part of the base of this tree and my foot. You can see that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to come down here with a tape measure and just see how big, what the diameter of this tree is. But if you look up at it, oh, isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Look at it. It's just falling off of there. Look at that. To right there, and then it stops. The top fell out. It's just sad. It'd almost be better to just cut it and let some others come up, I think, rather than let it rot. Keep animals. I don't know. I don't know what the best thing would be. I sure do love it down here. When I was married, I had a couple of peach trees, and he told me I had to put them way down here. Well, I put them way down here. I don't know why I did. I should have fought him on it because I never got one peach out of it because all the animals loved the peach trees. Boy, they loved eating those peach trees down. And a cow got out and it trampled peach trees. And this right here is what's left of that peach tree that I planted 30 years ago. That's what's left right there. Oh, it's so sad. I wish I had some help and I could just get this place cleaned up. It would be so nice. You know, even help of goats, if I could just get some goats down here, just for a little while, for, you know, a month or two, I bet this place would be clean. It'd just be fencing it in to keep them in. I don't know how I could do that and keep the animals away from them at night. That's the hard part, because animals down here, we have all kinds of things. We've got bobcats. We've got what else? What are those other? They're Black Panther looking things. I can't remember what they're called. I don't think they're panthers, but they look like them. They're pretty good size. A big old cat. And I'm just not sure what would get them or what could get them. But we've got coyotes, and I know coyotes kind of do the thing where they get into a group and they can kill just about anything. I don't see where the deer live though. I know they're always right down in this bottom. That's the very bottom right there, this whole area. And if you look at that tree, see this tree right here, this big one? That is a paper shell pecan tree. And I absolutely love that tree. And I would really love to get pecans off of it, but it doesn't hardly produce anymore. Produced when I first lived here. It doesn't produce anymore. So I got some of those tree spikes, and I can put that out and see if that works. But I'll have to have this place really cleaned up first. It's hard to get down here to do anything when it's summertime. It's just, I mean, it's waist high in the summertime. My neighbor is really, really nice, and he comes down and brush hogs it for me, but it looks like I need to get a lot of stuff up from down here. Well, anyway, I appreciate you watching me. I do want to tell you thank you, especially if you've lasted this long. I'm working, I guess I tell you just about every time, I'm working towards getting monetized on the YouTube channel, so I can do things down here. This is my goal, is to have money so I can, I'm just retired, so I want to be able to do some fencing down here and have some animals help me keep this nice and clean. Oh, that would be so wonderful. I just love animals. I really, really do. And if I could have a nice place for them to live, that would just be, oh, I can't even imagine. what that would make me feel like. I would be so happy. I already am happy. I'm happy. I'm a very happy person. But it would be even better if I could have other animals down here enjoying this grass and helping me keep it up. And I could come down here and have like a little picnic occasionally, and like I used to. I used to come down here and just sit. You know, you can can get down here in some of these areas, especially when it's summertime, if you have it mown. You can come down here and you don't see anybody or anything. There's a few more things here than there used to be, but you can position yourself right down here and you are alone. I love that. I absolutely love that. So anyway, if you're still here, I appreciate you. If you have friends that might want to watch my channel and subscribe, that would be wonderful. I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours. And my viewing hours are really coming up now that I'm doing it daily. I hadn't been doing videos daily. I kind of got a little bit down and thought, well, what's the use? Because I was only getting 5 or 6 or 7, but now I'm starting to get 600. I've got 600 views on one of my videos, which makes me really happy. And people are starting to tell me that they like my channel, and that keeps me going. You know, you don't really need to be validated by other people, but when other people tell you that they like what you're doing and to keep it coming, it makes you want to even more. So you know that you're not just doing it in vain, and it's not just a vanity thing that you're saying, hey, look at me, because I don't even want to be on the video. I want my chickens and my animals to be on the video. They're the stars, not me. They're the ones who do the work, and I just appreciate and love them so much. So y'all have a peaceful day. God's with you. He's with me. He's everywhere. All you have to do is look and you'll see him. You'll see him. Have a great day, people.